in a list. And the reason why we're doing that is because we need to properly dispose of these when we're done with the game. So let's use it here. Okay, so then we're going to add our new instance to here and return it. Whoa. Studio event emitter. This is also for Fmod. I'm going to say initialize event emitter. Studio event emitter. Emitter. Event reference. Event reference. We say if the emitter's null, we return null. Otherwise, the emitter event reference equals the reference we're passing in. If event emitters otherwise, okay, so like this where we're saving all the instances, we're also going to need a list of event emitters. So there's two types of ways to do things in Fmod. You either create an instance of the event, or you have an emitter that's actually on a game object, and that's where you want to play the event. So we're allowing for two things. And this initialize function is going to let us initialize an emitter and store it inside our container, inside our list here, and reuse it if we need to. What is this? Now we need a play sound, public, static, void, play, sound. We need an event reference. We need a vector 3 position to play it at. Which we are going to set to the default, which is 0, 0, 0. So actually we can make this vector 0 for the default. Either one's fine. It's just two defaults. So now we're going to use our new function. We're going to pass in the event reference. We're going to have a new function. which will get us the event instance. And we're going to say event. Actually, we don't need to do that for this function. We just need to say runtime manager, which calls fmod play one shot. And we pass the reference and the position. We are importing the wrong library here. We want Unity Engine. Now, I learned this when I was doing the project, the 2D project with Audio, or Emily, that sometimes I need to pass a parameter. So like when we were doing the footsteps, I need to know if we're stepping on snow or whatever, and I need to set that parameter. So I'm going to create a separate function that's called play sound with parameter. We're going to pass the event reference, a parameter name, a value, which is a float. So we're going to call this parameter name to parameter value. And again, we're passing in the position as optional. And now here we want to use our function. So we're going to create an instance. We're going to say set parameter name and value. Event instance, we have to do instance.set 3D attributes. Runtime utils. Oh, it looks like Copilot knows exactly what we want to do. So we want to set the position via the runtime utils. That's the way you do it when not using the play one shot function. And then we do instance start. Oh, we've already got the start there, but then we also have to do instance release right afterwards. So that will tell it to play, and then when it's done with the sound, let it go. I'm sorry, Emily. Now, I'm going to write this function here. Actually, I haven't written it yet. Void shutdown. And we're going to need to call this to clean up fmod. So we're going to do for each of the event instances. And I like to be explicit here, event instance. We want to call stop on the instance, immediate, and then we want to release it. Then similarly to the emitter, we call studio event emitter, and we call stop. So we're going to have to call this at some point. For now, why don't we just find one of our objects in the scene, like the player, where we're doing a lot of this stuff anyway. Player. I think I'm doing it in the first person control. There's spots where I'm doing stuff in start where we're awake. Not this one. But you know what? Why don't we just do this? Why don't we create an object? Call it audio. Just to be, we'll call it audio manager. Let's create an audio manager script. Audio. Okay. And we'll just say that private void on destroy, we will call the shutdown on the audio service. Need to import services package. Okay, so this will just be responsible for doing the shutdown stuff. Sure that we free up all those assets. Don't have memory leak. All right, so now we should be able to play a sound. So let's go to our Fmod event browser. Let's keep this handy. And let's see. You didn't do a pickup sound yet. Let's test something. Let's do our clean reveal. And let's do that when we pick up this thing. So actually how I want to handle that now is through our interaction system. So on the box, we have, it's an interactable, and we have one script already that's handling the interaction. So the interactable is basically responsible for looking at all the interaction handlers on it's looking at for all the interaction handlers that are on the same object. And it's going to call them one by one. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to scripts, audio. We're going to create a subfolder called interaction. We're going to create a audio interaction handler. Okay. So this is going to be a namespace audio interaction. This is going to extend interaction handler, which imports my interaction system. And it's red because we need to implement the abstract class. So now we have the onInteract. Now we want to play a sound. Yes, I can throw something. So let's say I need public, let's do serialized field, private, event reference. We'll call this audio event reference. And then we're going to call audio service dot play sound, and we'll use the current position we'll use the current position of the player. Or actually, in this case, of the object, and it'll play the sound. So now I go to my box, and I add my audio interaction handler. And I'm using the Fmod here, so I'm going to search for my clean reveal. Wire that up. Save. So now when I pick this up, we should hear the sound. And I can throw it. So now, you had drop sounds, right? So we want to play, let's say this is made of wood. So let's add a audio collider. We want to handle this. Let me put the music back on. We want to handle this. So we'll say audio collision handler. It's going to look very similar to this. I'm just going to copy this. Okay. But instead of on interact, we're just going to make this a regular mono behavior. And we're going to use the Unity, what is it, on collision? Word on collision, enter. Move this up here. See if this works. Collision handler, and we'll say this is wood. Every time it detects a collision, it should play the sound. I don't know if this is exactly what we want, but doesn't seem like it matches the... I read chat. Fine, I'll catch up. I threw something. Yay. What are we talking about team ideas for? Oh my god, I'm so far behind. Cybertrucks? What's going on? Yeah, every time it detects a collision, it's going to play the sound. Also, the sound may not be the best for that. Like the. Does I wonder if that's long though. It almost needs like a very quick sound. Like I'm wondering if what's the sound I heard? What was the... Like, what if I tried swap item? I just wanna... I think it's long. Yeah, I think short is better. Like if I use like UI click. Thanks for streaming. You're welcome. Yeah, I think we want a really short sound for this if we're going to use it like this. And if I pick... Yes, I can probably put a cooldown on it. But then it'll look weird if it's bouncing and not making sound, you know? I can't really do that. But what I could do is I can use a cooldown timer, so private cooldown timer. Say 0.5 seconds. Alright. So now it will play every 0.5 seconds, even if it collides more than that. But I don't think that's the solution. I think a very quick, short, like, hit sound is really what we want. See? Let me change. Let me make this quick. This the drop wood sound. I don't know. What do you think? Yep, we're going with the dungeon idea. Have a good night, Slater. Yeah, I think I prefer... I think it's better to play on every single collision, but the sound should be short and varied. Can it be like one of those things where it picks a random different type of impact? I don't know what that... Let me mouse over and see what this thing is. Note.